it's day 23. No hating. I squeezed a pimple here last night. Oh my god. Okay, I feel like the last 2 days I didn't really film much. It's Tuesday today. And I was reading comments on my recent Energy Vampires video. And I'm very grateful for all the positive feedback and for people saying that the video helped them. I thought it was funny that now I'm starting to get comments from people like accusing me of being narcissistic or psychopathic because I encourage people to set healthy boundaries around their kindness and generosity. Like, it's so interesting, the selective hearing that people have. I literally say at the beginning of the video, you know, this isn't about what's good or bad, and your emotions don't need to be seen through a moral lens. And people's behavior doesn't even need to be seen through a moral lens all the time either, you know. At some point, you also have to discern between, okay, what vibe am I bringing to the function and what is the feedback that I'm getting? And is the feedback in service of me being hot and having fun, or us being hot and having fun together, or not? You know, I think it literally is that simple. And people are adding all these additional layers of morality and diagnosis and pathologization to things where it need not be, in my opinion. You know, you can do the analysis, you can do the diagnosis if it's helpful, but I don't think that it necessarily can help you in figuring out what to do next, you know? Like, I don't know. So you think someone's narcissistic and then what? That doesn't necessarily assist you in how you deal with the relationship just by being able to come to that conclusion. So I feel like for me, something that's been really helpful in my hashtag journey has just been like, you know, I don't need to have an answer for everything. I don't need to be able to decide and be conclusive about why this person did this, why I did that, what it means. All I need to do is, how am I going to move into the next thing? You know, how am I going to integrate this experience and learn something from it? And I was talking to my friend this morning. She messaged me because she was doing the no hating challenge too. And she was like, I'm like failing at this no hating thing because I'm having to reassess a lot of my friendships. And I was like, it's not failing if you're noticing, you know? And I think that goes for anything in life. I say all the time, especially on my podcast, it's not about like beating yourself up just because something's gone wrong. It's about accepting and being grateful for the fact that you have awareness to a problem, you know, because so many people have no awareness. They are living in a loop, making the same mistakes, living through the same habits over and over and over again. They feel entitled to a level of success that they're not actively working towards. They feel entitled to a level of happiness that they're not willing to break an old pattern for. They're not willing to face something unfamiliar for. It's actually insane. And again, it's not a moral assessment of people. It's literally just human nature. But I think that in order to grow and evolve and to have new experiences and to feel this sense of achievement and to feel like a true sense of agency over your life and your contribution, okay, it's not just what you're getting from other people, it's more about what you are contributing actually. Like, what you receive from other people is nowhere near as fulfilling as your ability to contribute, I think, personally. Because when you're so focused just on how you can contribute positively, the space left for you to worry about what you get in return is actually very minimal, you know? And I'm saying that it's best to use that energy to be discerning on, okay, who's matching my freak? Who do I feel mutually supported by? And how can we continue on this journey together? And who is not? And let me move away from them and redirect my time and energy and my attention. It's not like you're spending your whole day just like looking for ways to be attacked and minimized, which is how a lot of people actually live, you know? Awareness gives you the privilege of being able to move forward with intention, okay? When you don't have awareness of whether something is good or bad, your next move could send you in the wrong direction, okay? Or it could send you in a direction that is not desired. Whereas when you have awareness of a problem, even if the problem is like overwhelming, it's like, okay, well, I'm grateful that I know that that problem exists. So now I can think about all the options available to me and choose with intention. Because even if you choose with intention and you choose quote unquote wrong, at least you know what it's like to make a decision, and you know that you can make another decision with intention in a different direction. You know, if you're just like living mindlessly, going around in circles, you might have the hubris of believing that every decision that you've made is correct, but at the same time, it's just feeding into a toxic cycle or getting you further and further away from what you actually want, you know, because there's what you think you want and what you actually want. And what you actually want could be underneath so much conditioning, so much insecurity. You don't even know what you're doing half the time, you know, and I've been there. That's why I can talk about this dynamic and all these dynamics at length, you know, and I observe it in other people too. And it's just human nature. And I think that we've been so divorced from our ability to connect with our ability to become aware of our patterns or to make intentional decisions, because it's by design. It's by design to keep you in a state of lack, to keep you in a state of unawareness so that you can be exploited, you know? And I think because the marketing messaging is so strong and the individualism pilling is so strong, everybody thinks that they're the exception to the rule, but I don't think you should ever assume that you're the exception. You know, even if you are exceptional, you are usually exceptional because you don't think you are the exception, because you're working harder than everybody else. You're like, you know, doubling down on whatever you think you need to do. And that's what I think has helped me a lot. Like, I never assume that I'm the exception when it comes to the ways in which my mind can play tricks on me, you know? And so I'm very diligent about having grounding practices in place so that I can live in a state of awareness and live as intentionally as I can. And it's not like a perfect process by any means, okay? Because I also love the chaos too, but I try to be mindful with my engagement with the chaos. But because I don't assume that I'm exempt or not being affected by the messaging that I expose myself to, by these algorithms, by these devices, by the internet, blah, 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 by the people around me, I put in a lot of effort to make sure that I'm grounded, you know? And then as a result, people might look at the way that I live and think, oh, it's so easy for her. Oh, she's just built different. And it's like, no, I don't assume that I am the exception. So I work extremely hard to make sure that I'm putting myself in the best position possible to live a life of being hot and having fun as I define it and as I redefine it as I go, you know? And a lot of people, they just are always looking at other people and comparing themselves and saying, making excuses and being like, well, it's easy for them, or putting themselves in a victim mindset. And it's like, that's not going to get you closer to what you want. Actually, if you just accepted where you're at and you did an audit of your habits and what is and isn't working for you, you would be able to find solutions to get towards what you actually wanted and to live, to be the person that other people look at and think, wow, isn't their life amazing? You know, wow, aren't they like so strong? Wow, how did they do that? You know? Anyway, I'm waiting for my toast to toast. Talk later. Bonjour. It's like 2 p.m. I don't even know what day. No hating we're on. I completely forgot that it's November yesterday. It's art week in Shanghai and there's like a bunch of events and stuff on, but I'm literally so tired. Like last night I went to this Celine archive event thing, which is cute, but also like, yeah, I don't know. There was another art event after I didn't go to because I just couldn't. And also I went to Pole instead. But today I'm like emotionally neutral, but like spiritually exhausted. Like my eyes keep watering as if I'm about to cry, but I have nothing to cry about. I just got my hair washed and blow dried. Slay. Feeling slightly more inspired now to like edit and work and make stuff for y'all. My bagel, fennel sausage. Yummy. I haven't had one of these in ages. I was like addicted earlier this year. Monday, I usually take off TikTok and Instagram. And then yesterday, I went on TikTok Live in the morning. I think TikTok Live I'm going to reserve for maybe like Thursday evenings or something. Good morning, friends. Day 25. No hating. So iconic. Oh my God. I just started journaling and I was like, I don't have anything to crash out about. I'm just tired. But then I did remember I had an interaction the other day that really pissed me off. But you know, it made me think about the effects of alcoholism on people's brains, you know, like the person that was talking to me, they have an alcoholic problem, you know, but like, because drinking is such a big part of socializing and addiction is associated with antisocial behavior. If you can manage like a social situation while you're drinking, it creates the illusion that you're not actually addicted. Like it's just part of the vibe. But I think there are a lot of people that seriously, like they literally can't go out and be in a group setting without drinking. And that's a sign of addiction, you know? Okay, sorry. I was interrupted by my bread that I ordered arriving. So yeah, something that I guess I don't really talk about that much is stuff like drinking and drugs and smoking. Even though I work in nightlife and I've been DJing for such a long time, I don't really drink. I mean, obviously, like in my last vlog, I was hungover, but for the most part, yeah, I'm not a big drinker. What I learned from last weekend is that I'm not going to be drinking for the rest of the year. But I'm really OCD about just like my mental and physical health. Not OCD to the point of like being a health freak, because like I still love potato chips and like pizza and eating junk food. But I just try to do it in moderation, or I try to do it in a way that is balanced for me. And I always think about like, okay, this canceling that out, you know, don't overdo it here, make sure that you supplement this with that. You know, if I eat a lot of junk food one day, I'll try to make sure that I have more like vegetables and whole foods the next day. Because you only have one body to carry you through this life, okay? You've got to wait until you reincarnate to get a new vessel. So yeah, I'm all about trying to just look after myself as best as I can. The next frontier is me going to bed early. But yeah, I think when you're in your 20s, you feel invincible, and people talk about how in their 30s everything starts to break down, and you almost don't believe them, you know? And I'm really starting to see it in a lot of the people around me now. I mean, I think I have taken pretty good care of myself, minus the not sleeping enough. So yeah, I really try to make sure that I'm staying active, etc., etc. But other people around my age that haven't done that drink heavily throughout their 20s, late nights, blah, 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 it's really starting to show, okay? And not just in your body, but also in the way that your mind functions, okay? Like incoherent communication in the day. You're not even drunk and you can't form a proper sentence. Alcoholism can come for anyone. And I think it's really important that people acknowledge that and are aware. Because I'm talking about like people that are highly educated, working in competitive fields that are not able to communicate properly. Like, where do you go from here? You need your brain and your body in order to take your life to the next level. And if you've damaged it in a way that's almost beyond repair. I mean, it's not beyond repair. I really do believe the body can heal itself. But if you're not taking the time to repair, applying discipline, figuring out whatever is underneath the addiction, I don't know, like it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. So that's really crazy. I have just received a bunch of orders from Taobao as well. It's like Double 11 in China, big sale. I bought a bunch of stuff that's already arrived and we can do an unboxing together. I think it's mostly skincare that I bought, but I'm gonna finish journaling and then we can touch base. Okay, unboxing. I'm mostly just replenishing things that I need and use on a regular basis. So salicylic acid. I've been doing skin cycling, so I use a different active each night in 4 days. So like day 1, salicylic acid, day 2, retinol, day 3, copper peptides, day 4, rest. And I feel like it's been way better for my skin than trying to use like 3 actives a night or like 3 serums a night. Okay, also Embryolisse moisturizer, a great daytime moisturizer. I've been using La Roche-Posay at night. It's much thicker, not very suitable for daytime. But yeah, Embryolisse is great and also good under makeup. Okay, also I bought a huge apple cider vinegar. I put a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in my morning tea. None of those purchases were that insane. I got new stockings, which I need to try on to make sure they're long enough, because sometimes the stockings aren't long enough for me. Not that crazy. Okay. I think my visa agent just messaged me. BRB. I ate a little too quickly, but I can walk it off. Let's go. Hello world. Today is the 14th. So it's day 26, no hating. That's crazy. I hope everyone's doing well. This is going to be part of one blob vlog, I'm assuming. I wish I could tell you what I've been doing, guys, but I'm really not sure. Editing YouTube videos, I've been meaning to film and I haven't. I haven't even been like exercising that much this week. I went to pole Monday, Tuesday. It's Friday. I haven't been to yoga or anything. I think maybe I'm just tired. I'm gonna go to an event tonight. I went briefly to a friend's gallery, like club exhibition last night, which was really cute. And yeah, I don't know. I've just been feeling tired, you know. I'm gonna go to pole tomorrow. I think I'm gonna get my hair done. I want to make my hair darker. I don't know. I have like black hair dysmorphia. Today I was like, it looks really black, but then I have moments where it looks too brown. So I've had such a great time doing this no hating challenge. It's been really fun. I hope everyone has enjoyed it as well. Any other challenges that we want to embark on together, let me know. I finished reading The Tragedy of Heterosexuality, which I mentioned in an earlier vlog. Highly recommend that book. I think it's really interesting, the origins of heterosexual culture, especially in the West. Someone in the Patreon sent this reading list from a university course about love in China and how it's developed in China, and it's like really interesting. So I love the resource sharing going on in the Patreon, and hopefully I can start working on or working through that reading list at some point too, which is really exciting. Hashtag knowledge we love. Yeah, no additional thoughts as of now. I have a video on Patreon that just went up about dealing with like political differences in friendships, which I think is a canon event and more common these days. So yeah, if you're going through that at the moment, you can check that out. Speak soon.